has had a friend, Chloe, in quotes, we'll call her Chloe, right? She and Chloe have been friends for over a year now. Chloe's mom, Gina, is someone that I'd consider pretty strict. I was aware she had checked Chloe's phone, and I know a lot of parents do this. But I found out a few months ago through my daughter that she'd respond through Chloe's phone to Chloe's friends, including my daughter. Oh, God. Chloe can't talk right now, or she's busy with homework, or whatever. I thought this was odd, but didn't say anything to Gina about it because that's her life and her business. I got a call from Gina earlier this afternoon. She was very, very pissed off and told me that my daughter was rude. I need to start monitoring what she says. I asked her exactly what happened, and she said my daughter gave her attitude via text. I was still very confused and asked why they were texting. Gina became exasperated and snapped through Chloe's phone. I told her I'd call her back and ask my daughter specifically what happened. My daughter willingly showed me her text. She had texted Chloe something. Gina had responded using Chloe's phone, saying Chloe was busy. My daughter replied asking when Chloe would be available to talk, and Gina told her when she's ready, stop texting her. That's not what text is. That's like if somebody's blowing up the home phone. You don't need to respond when somebody can't talk. You just turn the volume off. You just turn the notifications off. My daughter replied, "You don't have to be so rude." Gina said she wasn't being rude. My daughter said yes, Gina was. And also called her a weirdo for using Chloe's phone. Okay, she didn't need to do all that. She should have just took it to her mom like, "Mom, what do I do here?" I told my daughter next time, don't engage. I did also say it wasn't kind to call somebody a weirdo and not to do it again, but that I also understood her frustration. I didn't punish her. She seemed receptive to the talk, and I left it at that. I called Gina back and told her I had spoken to my daughter and handled the problem. Gina started ranting that I need to monitor my daughter's phone and have I seen some of the things she talks about. She started on crushes, rants about teachers, saying there were times my daughter badmouthed me when frustrated. That's not my business. It's normal, and it's not my business. I already know my kid's mad because of this or that. Because they had to do a dish or like pick up dog poop one time or something. Gina said, but she insulted an adult. I told her I handled it, but my daughter also didn't say anything that wasn't true. Gina was acting like a weirdo. Now Gina's angry with me. My daughter doesn't care that I said all of this. However, my husband thinks that I should have said it. Should not have said it. It didn't solve anything, and Gina can parent how she wants. Exactly, Gina can parent how she wants, so she doesn't need to be coming over here saying how I should parent. Or that I need to be more controlling. I said I never commented on Gina's parenting until she tried to undermine or insult mine. Not the a-hole, but truthfully, Gina is psycho weird and seems obsessed to punish your daughter. Your daughter may think she has a safe space with her friend, but Gina can manipulate what your daughter is saying. Gina can also impersonate your daughter's friend and have her expose something personal. That's crazy. Unfortunately, I wouldn't let my daughter be close friends with this person. There's a big liability for your daughter to go to Gina's home, to text her friend when the mother is constantly monitoring with psycho intentions. The OP says it seems like Gina isn't going to allow Chloe to talk to my daughter anymore. Okay, good, solved. Solved. My daughter feels confident that they can still talk at school, so hopefully that'll cut Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs out of our life. She's gonna have a lot of issues, and I feel bad for her kid. But kids need a friend to vent to, and unless you saw something harmful, not like, oh, I have a crush on Liam, or oh my god, my mom's being a total bitch. Those aren't harmful things. So shut up. allowed to go, and so her kids did it too. And she expected my kid to be responsible for what they did. And I'm like, she's allowed to. So bye. If your kids aren't, and they did, that's between you and your kids. Weirdo. Okay. Am I the a-hole for asking my friend to leave my birthday party because she brought her crying baby? I mean, babies cry. Oh, leave her birthday. So it's an adult party. Let's see. Sorry, longish post. I, 27 female, recently threw a birthday party at my apartment. It was a pretty low-key gathering with 10 friends, lots of snacks, a couple drinks, and a fun night hanging out. Everything was going fine until my friend Sarah, 28 female, showed up with her 7-month-old baby. Now, I love Sarah, and I know she's a mom, but I wasn't expecting her to bring the baby to the party, especially since we had planned to play games, drink, and chat. The baby started crying almost immediately when they walked in. Sarah tried to calm her down, but she was clearly struggling. At first, I thought it was just a momentary thing, but the crying continued for almost an hour. Super loud and nonstop. It was hard to hear anything over the noise, and some of the other guests were getting visibly uncomfortable. I eventually pulled Sarah aside and asked her if she could maybe step outside with the baby or take a break in the other room until the baby calmed down. I explained that it was just hard to enjoy the party with the crying. She was clearly upset and told me that I should be more understanding since she can't just leave the baby at home. And she was doing her best to keep her calm. She ended up leaving shortly after, and now she's not speaking to me. I feel bad because I know being a mom is hard, but I also feel like it was my birthday, and I wanted to have a good time without the crying baby. Some people think I was rude for asking her to leave, while others think I was just trying to protect the vibe of the party. Am I the a-hole? That is a tough one. That is tough because I'm like, my friend is here because she wants to see me, but her kid doesn't want to see me. So that sucks. Not the a-hole. Her child is not your responsibility, and her inability to find childcare so she can attend an adult function is not your problem to solve. Giving it the silent treatment is called emotional blackmail. When it starts, it never ends. Hold firm and don't give in. She's the one who decided to bring the baby. She's the one who decided to leave. She's the one who is trying to punish you by using the silent treatment. She could be the one to reconnect and apologize. Anything short of that is unacceptable, and she's beyond rude. Okay. I would probably feel bad because it's the baby being rude. Just kidding, guys. I've had babies. Cruise was awful. Couldn't take him anywhere. My other ones weren't too bad. They could party. I mean, most of the comments are saying not the a-hole, so. I have 4 kids, and you know what I do when I'm invited to an adult party? I either find childcare during those hours, or I politely decline the invitation. I probably wouldn't take a baby to a party that I knew there was no other kids at either. If there was kids there, then crying baby can cry. It's a kid party, sorry. But if it's just grown-ups, I feel bad though, because she's probably maybe the first of all those people to have a kid in childcare, unless you have family that's available. Childcare is not easy to find and expensive. So maybe if I was Sarah, I would have just left and been like, hey, I want to see you. How about you come over during nap time? And I'll cook you. I'll make you some coffee and cook, like something like that to make up for it. Not the a-hole. Sarah should have had the consideration to remove the baby from the room herself before being asked. So, that's a long time for a baby to cry without passing out, and maybe the baby just can't get comfortable, you know? Am I the a-hole for refusing spot 18, which is the absolute worst. You turned your blinker on too late. You turned your blinker on too early. Why are you accelerating so slowly? Whoa, is it necessary to accelerate that quickly, etc.? So for the past couple of years, I've refused to drive. I now make her do all the driving, and lo and behold, I'm no longer a grumpy person when we travel. Now she's gotten upset that she always has to drive, and told me I need to split the driving 50-50 with her. I told her if she could keep her opinions to herself while I was driving, then I would. She agreed. So last weekend, I started driving. She couldn't last 3 minutes without criticizing my driving. I pulled over and told her I'm done. I think that's a good move. Either she takes over driving or we're going home. Eventually she took the wheel as she muttered that I drive like a moron. Even though there's only one of us who has tickets, had any tickets, and has at-fault accidents on their record, so it's not me. Am I the a-hole for refusing to drive if she's present? No, I think it's perfectly fine. I would like to see him drive, just to see if there's any validity. But even if there is, if it's that bad, ma'am, then you're not even safe with him, so you drive. She's calling you an idiot and a moron. It sounds like you came up with a perfectly reasonable solution. She can't complain about your driving and force you to drive and call you names. It's not okay. I think you did the right thing and you're not the a-hole. Yeah, like imagine me driving and my husband, I do like something a little off and my husband's like, you idiot moron. Excuse me. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. We're both getting out of the car. And we're gonna duel. Spot on. Want to complain about it? Here's the wheel. Show me how it's done. You're the expert. Is it normal for your wife to call you stupid, moron, etc.? Or am I just being sensitive by feeling some type of way about it? Is this what married couples say to each other? Y'all are scaring me. No. Unless they're both like that, then no. One party shouldn't be like that. There are some old couples that'll stay together forever and they call each other stupid, idiot, moron all day and they're in love, so whatever. But if it's one-sided, then no. No, I only call my partner an idiot in the most loving tone when he does something silly cute, and he responds with, and I'm your very own personal idiot, with a huge smile. Name calling should never be a conflict response. I don't think I've ever said you idiot more. Well, there might have been one occasion. Yeah, the vote is that he is not the a-hole. Okay, let's do one more, and then I have to work today, as usual. So, am I the a-hole for yelling at a mom and her kid to get out of my home? A few months ago, I, a 28 female, started a new D&D campaign. Dungeons and Dragons, I guess. And invited a few friends. One of them, Sarah. We have another Sarah here. And her friend Anne could join. Anne is a mom who doesn't get many chances to hang out with adults, so I agreed, even though I knew she might be flaky due to childcare responsibilities. I asked Anne if she could attend at least the first few sessions to get familiar with the game, and she agreed. Then she proceeded to cancel, mostly last minute, every proposed first session for the next 2 months. I told her I'm sorry, but if she can't make it to the next proposed session, she won't be in the long campaigns. Still welcome to join the one-shots. She apologized and said she'll make it. It sounds like a game that you have to, attend. It's set up for. She made it, but brought her toddler without asking. Here we go again. As soon as they came, the kid needed to use the bathroom. He made a mess since he can't fully use the toilet yet. I told Anne that's fine, but asked her to clean it up. This surprised her, and she started being a bit on edge. We sat down at the table, and the kid started running around looking for things to do. I was a bit stressed out by this. Anne noticed him and put him in her lap. A toddler in your lap. Nice try. But now the kid was at the table, which covered the mini figurines, dice, pretty pictures, and maps, mostly being a joking answer along with list is on Anne, but if you have a dog that's iffy, no, it can't be around a kid, and that is owner responsibility. It does, like, kids don't know, kids can't, so that is. Anne put him down to say hi, and he made a full speed beeline at my dog while grabbing motions and yelling. I stopped him by stepping in front of him. He ran into me, fell down and started crying, and started screaming at me. I screamed back and very swiftly told her to get the book out of my home. Sarah was annoyed and told us it took them an hour and a half to get to me, and went with Anne since they carpooled. The rest stayed. It was awkward for half an hour or so, but we ended up having fun, and they even stayed for the night. I then woke up to local Facebook groups and people's Instagram stories calling me a controlling a-hole, saying I'm discriminating against various players. Being too strict and having a dangerous dog. To add insult to injury, Sarah, who I've been friends with for years, is not speaking to me, so am I the a-hole? No, you shouldn't have been a people pleaser. You should have said, I have a crazy dog, and you didn't tell me about this kid, so no. And that'll get you people pleasing. It'll get you every time. No good deed goes unpunished. Now look at the mess. I would just block everybody on Facebook, and what sucks is he probably needs those communities for his Dungeons and Dragons thing, so I would tell my side of the story and let people have their little tizzies, because that's petty, but that's humans. They're the worst. Now the a-hole, if she could find childcare, if she could not find childcare, the least she could have done is reach out to you to make sure she could bring the toddler to your house. The second she didn't want to clean up after her kid is when I would have kicked her out, but she could never have brought him without clearing it with you first. And listen, toddlers pee weird. Toddlers miss, and they miss. Sometimes they miss on purpose. Sometimes they miss on accident. And if they made a mess, you wipe it up. You don't act shocked that somebody's not wanting to clean. It's just like if you brought a dog over to somebody's house and your dog had you'd be the one cleaning it up. I could almost even ignore and get over somebody bringing their kid uninvited, but it's absolutely wild to me that she didn't have something to do for the kid, right? Or have any responsibility or plan for the kid to be preoccupied if the kid doesn't or isn't able to sit and play quietly by himself and gets in the middle of the mess with every little thing. His mom had absolutely no control plan for that. If you're going to bring your kid somewhere, the kid needs to know how to sit down and play with a coloring book for 2 hours. And that's not fair to the kid. Let's be serious. A toddler sitting down with a coloring book for 2 hours. This isn't 1985. They don't do that anymore. And that sucks. I was telling my kid, who's 4, like, we use the tablet in the car. He's not a tablet kid. We don't bring it in the house, but when we have drives that are over 30 minutes, and I was like, listen, kid, when we used to be in the car, when we were little, all we did was, like, stare at our hand and stare out the window, and then go back to staring at our hand